How's it going, everybody? And we are back with another edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. The Cubs take the series from the Nationals in a convincing 7-1 victory. The offense bounces back tremendously. And then we're going to talk more trade rumors. We're kind of going team by team, seeing where they're at in the race as it sits, and could maybe some of their starting pitching be available towards the trade deadline. And then the Cubs have a tough matchup starting tonight in Detroit. Detroit has the best record in all of baseball. We're going to preview that. But before we get into all that, shout out to everyone who has liked the video, subscribed to the channel, and commented down below. All the positive support has been absolutely fantastic. Let's keep that going. So let's start with the Cubs' absolutely convincing 7-1 victory yesterday over the Washington Nationals. It started in the first inning with a young man named Pete Crow Armstrong hitting a 2-run shot to give us the 2-0 lead. A couple runs driven in later. The Cubs are eventually up 5-0. And that was all she wrote. They threw out Drew Pomeranz as the opener, and then Colin Ray came in and pitched an absolute dandy of a ball game. Again, this Cubs pitching staff continues to impress me, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of fantastic talent across the board. As a Cub fan, I'm still getting greedy and want more pitching, but what the pitching has done these past few weeks has been absolutely spectacular, especially with Imanaga out on the IL, and obviously Justin Steele is out for the year as well. But Colin goes to 4-2. He pitched 5 1/3, and then the bullpen did take care of the rest. We gave up 1 run in the ninth, but the game was well over by then. So Cubs win the series 7-1, and the offense, once again, like I said, bounced back. Okay. I looked it up last night because, like you said yesterday, remember I said the Cubs were only shut out for the third time last year. So I didn't really need to do much digging. But earlier this year, the Cubs were blanked by the Dodgers, I believe, 6-0. And then they came back and scored 16 runs the next game, if you believe that. And then the Brewers beat the Cubs 4-0. And then they dropped 11 runs on the Giants. And then literally today they were blanked and they scored 7 more runs. So when the Cubs get shut out, it might be a safe bet to take the -1.5, because this offense absolutely does a fantastic job of responding. Again, the Cubs do have 23 losses, so there's a couple times in there during the season that they've lost a couple games in a row, but it's really not many at all, and it's really tough to remember them all. Obviously, the opening series in Japan, those do count on the record, but that Cubs team, like I said in those videos, that's when we kind of started Cubs Daily. Those videos the team is a lot different than that one, right? Obviously, Matt Shaw has come back out. He had 3 hits yesterday. Ian Happ's starting to get healthy. He had 3 hits yesterday. Obviously, Kyle Tucker being implemented right back into the lineup helps tremendously. He had a double yesterday, and he drew 2 walks. Again, it's a domino effect with this lineup when you have a guy like Kyle Tucker in there. It helps Seiya, it helps Michael Busch, it helps Crow Armstrong, the whole 9 yards. And everybody in the Cubs offense had a hit yesterday, which you love to see. I just like watching this team bounce back. That's one of my favorite attributes of this team, and it's a really good one of a high-quality baseball team, right? You don't let the losing last too long. That is what you truly, truly do love to see. Now, again, that doesn't mean this team doesn't have their flaws, right? I don't think the Cubs feel confident going into October with the roster as is and thinking they can make a deep push. We feel like we still have to make a move. And right now, the way Matt Shaw has been playing, the way PCA has been playing, the way our catching position has been doing, we just feel like we are solid on the offensive front, and we're solid defensively once again with those guys, the way they're playing. So we're kind of starting to lean on we need more pitching. And this does beg the question, right? Could a name like Framber Valdez be available? And, as it sits right now, no. The Astros are first in the AL West. It was a name that I did hear, though. I heard it through the grapevines on Twitter, through reading a bunch of articles and stuff. And, again, where you sit now, they only have a 1.5 game lead on the Mariners. I mean, the Rangers and the Angels are only 5.5 games back as well. Again, one bad losing streak, one bad stretch, and the Astros could be looking at themselves out of it. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm not sure Framber's going to be available, but we've done business with this team before, right? We traded them Isaac Paredes and Hayden Wisniewski. We got Kyle Tucker for them, so maybe if they're truly not looking to sign Framber to a long-term deal, and that might be the only reason, right? They don't want to sign him to a long-term deal. Framber Valdez, how much time does he have left on his contract? That is the real question. Where's my favorite website, Sport Track, So, Framber is going to be a free agent this next season. So, it's kind of just up to the Astros if they want to try and extend him or not. If they're not looking to extend him, this is where it takes on a risk for the Cubs, right? We might not have to give up as much prospect-wise because he's only a rental. But I imagine if the Cubs do want to trade for the likes of Framber, that he is going to, hopefully the Cubs want to sign him to an extension of sorts. Or, maybe we just we don't make this trade, and that's a guy we pursue in the offseason. But either way, the Astros are in first right now, so I can't imagine that they're truly looking to trade him. Again, 6-4 this year with a 3.07 ERA. Framber has been one of the more consistent pitchers in all of baseball. I would love to get a guy like Framber Valdez on this team, but I just don't think that's really possible right now, especially given where the Astros are at. And a lot of baseball people would look at the Astros kind of sideways if they made that kind of move at this current juncture of the season, especially given that they're playing a lot better. Now, they were off to a little bit of a struggle there in the beginning, but again, you can't take all of April so seriously in baseball, Things are not settled, teams don't look the same, etc., etc. That's the part where, the Cubs took advantage, right? They played a strong schedule, but the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres, those are going to be different-looking teams come October and September. So, hopefully, the Cubs can also look different in a positive sense starting those days as well. So, is Framber a possibility? It's less than 3% chance for me. But in sports, ladies and gentlemen, you never, ever truly know. The one thing you do like to see, though, is that the Cubs have done business with the Astros before. Just like the Marlins as well. These are two teams that have made deals before, and generally speaking, it's kind of a handshake league. If you know someone in someone else's office. Deals tend to happen more with those teams. So we'll keep our eye out. We'll see how the Astros continue to do up until, closer to the trade deadline. But as it sits right now, I don't think it's relatively possible. I think Sandy Alcantara is still the number one guy that the Cubs can truly just go out and get right now. Zach Gallen, he's, a possibility as well, but some more time has to play out before any of those teams decide whether they want to move a guy like that or not. Now, the Cubs start a 3-game set against the best team in all of baseball record-wise, the Detroit Tigers. That starts tonight at 6 o'clock. The Cubs are going to be in a battle, okay? This is going to be a battle. They are facing Tariq Skubal tonight, the reigning AL Cy Young Award winner and the odds-on favorite to win the award again this year. He has been the best pitcher in baseball over this past year and a half. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the Cubs are throwing Ben Brown tonight. Ben Brown, his last outing looked really, really good. Obviously he came in as a second pitcher, a relief pitcher, after the opener did a fantastic job. But I am genuinely curious to see how he goes up against an ace like Tariq Skubal. Can the Cubs win 2 of 3 from this series? Absolutely. The Cubs have a fantastic offense. I like the Cubs' offense more than I like the Tigers' offense. It's the Tigers' pitching that is incredible. And obviously it's headed by the likes of Tariq Skubal, who's going to be going tonight. It's going to be an absolutely great game. I can't wait to watch it. And, obviously on Monday I'll recap the series for all of us. But Cubs going to get after it tonight, 6:10 p.m. Central Time. Set your clocks. Get your dinner ready. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a show. 2 best records in baseball going at it. This is a potential World Series matchup. I'll say it right now. This is a potential World Series matchup. We got to keep our eyes weary of that. So Excited to watch it. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.